Hi everyone, we are talking about periodontal ligament. Coming to the list of contents we are discussing in periodontal ligament, it includes the introduction, definition, the development of periodontal ligament, the constituents of the periodontal ligament that consist of cellular elements, the periodontal fibers, substances that consist of cellular ligands, protein, and structures present in the connective tissue, and the functions of periodontal ligament, and aging of the ligament, and finally the clinical considerations. Coming to the introduction, the periodontal ligament is the integral part of the periodontium. The periodontium is an attachment apparatus of the teeth and it consists of four connective tissues that's include gingiva, periodontal ligament, alveolar bone, and cementum. Coming to the definition, according to the Terenza, the periodontal ligament is the connective tissue that surrounds the tooth and it connects it to the bone, and it is continuous with the connective tissue of the gingiva and communicates with the narrow spaces through the vascular channels in the bone. Coming to the definition according to Orbits, the periodontal ligament occupies the periodontal space which is located between the cementum and the periodontal surface of alveolar bone, and it extends coronally to the most attachial part of the laminar propria of the gingiva. Over the past years, various synonyms have been described for the periodontal ligament, which includes the periodontal membrane, front, and pericementum, conchosis, dental, periosteum, etc. Coming to the extent of periodontal ligament, the coronal direction, it is continuous with the laminar propria of the gingiva, it is demarcated by the alveolar crest fibers. At the root apex, it is merges with the dental cut, and it ranges in width from 0.15 to 0.38 mm according to the air. Coming to the shape of periodontal ligament, it is thinnest around the midsection of the root with an ovular appearance. The ligament appears as a radiusal area of 0.4 to 1.5 mm between the radiopi gland area of the alveolar bone and the cementum. The average width of the periodontal ligament varies depending on the age and according to the functional state of the tissues. Depending on the age, the average width of the periodontal ligament in younger adults is about 0.21 mm. And in mature adults, it's about 0.18 mm, and in older adults, it's about 0.15 mm. According to the functional state of the tissues at the time of eruption, the average width of the periodontal ligament varies in range from between 1 to 0.5 mm. At function, it ranges from 0.2 to 0.35 mm, and at hypofunction, it ranges from 0.1 to 0.15 mm. Coming to the development of periodontal ligament, the periodontal tissues are derived from the dental follicles, which in turn originates from the dental pathway. And as the root formation continues, the cells in the perifollicular mesenchyme gain their polarity and the cellular fluid and become widely separated. And the cells can actively synthesize requisite collagen fibrils in the development periodontal ligament. And the type of collagen is being secreted, which assembles as the collagen fibrils on the bone in the cellular surface, and they establish the continuity across the periodontal ligament space. Coming to the cells, there are various types of cells which are found in the functioning periodontal ligament, which helps in the synthesis and resorption of the alveolar ligament fibrous connective tissue of the ligament and the cementum. Coming to the synthetic cells, in a periodontal ligament, synthetic cells are present in all stages of activity. These are the synthetic cells which can produce the protein. That means they transcribe the RNA, synthesize the ribosomes in the nucleolus, and transport them to the cytoplasm. Coming to the osteoblasts, and osteoblasts are derived from the multipotent mesenchymal cells, and they cover the periodontal surface of the alveolar bone. It constitutes the modified intestine. They are basophilic cuboidal cells with abundant endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, and Golgi apparatus. And these cells contact one another with tight junctions and destination. Round prominent nucleus is placed at basal end of the cell, and their microfilaments are prominent at the secreting surface. Coming to the fibroblasts, which are formed in the periodontal ligament that's surrounded by the fibers and the ground substance. These fibroblasts are arranged parallel to the collagen fibers. These are the principal cells of the periodontal ligament and shows adherence and gap junctions between the cells. And the functions includes the formation and remodeling of the periodontal ligament fibers, maintaining the width of the periodontal ligament, and the production of collagen, elastin, structural connective tissue proteins, including glycoproteins and glycosaminoglycans. Coming to the cementoblast, these are the cells which are formed on the surface of the cementum, which are distributed in the same manner as the osteoblasts are distributed on the bone surface. These are cuboidal cells with abundant cytoplasm, large vesicular nucleus, and convolular nucleoli, with abundant nuclei, the mitochondria. And the prominent cytoplasmic processes are present in the cementoblast, depositing the cellular cement, and they are absent in cementoblast, depositing a cellular cement. Coming to the resorptive cells, first one is the osteoblast. These are the multinucleated cells which can resorb the bone. Under the light microscopy, they can be seen to be present in a shallow depression, which is known as the Hauschin image. Under the electron microscopy, these cells exhibit numerous mitochondria and lysosome, abundant Golgi saccharines, and free ribosomes with relative protoplasmic region. Coming to the fibroblasts, these are the cells which can be both capable of synthesis and resorption. The cells of the periodontal ligament can be resorbed by the nuclear fibroblast. They are present in the periodontal ligament for the remodeling process. These cells exhibit lysosome, which containing the fragments undergoing digestion. The presence of the collagen resorbing fibroblast in a normal functioning periodontal ligament indicates the resorption of fibers occurring during the remodeling of the periodontal ligament. And the collagen degradation is low or extracellular and intracellular events. Coming to the cementoblast. These are the cells which can be found in the periodontal ligament, but the cementum is not remodeled like that of the alveolar bone and the periodontal ligament. Under certain conditions, the resorptions of the cementum can occur. And this mononuclear cementoblast or multinuclear giant cells can be located in the Hausch's lacunae. They are found in the surface of the cementum. And coming to the progenitor cells, these are the undifferentiated mesenchymal cells which constitute an important cellular component of the periodontal ligament, having the capacity to undergo mitotic division. It replaces the differentiated cells dying in the end of their lifespan. And these cells are located mainly in the pedivascular region. Coming to the mesenchymal stem cells, they perform the following function, which includes the tissue homeostasis, and they are the sources of renewable progenitor cells. These cells can generate the cementoblast, fibroblast, and the osteoblast. Coming to the epithelial process of meiosis, which was first described by meiosis in 1884, and they are found close to the cementum, which are considered as the remnants of the epithelium of Herling's epithelial ridge, arranged parallel to the root surface and persist as a mature strands or islands or tubular-like structures. And these cells, epithelial cells, are formed at the time of the cementum formation. Coming to the defenses of the periodontal ligament, that includes the mast cells, macrophages, and neutrophils. The mast cells, which are often associated with the blood vessels, and they releases the histamine, heparin, and the factors which are associated with the anaphylaxis during the hypersensitivity reactions. And in cases of macrophages, they can phagocytose the dead cells and they can produce the growth factors that can regulate the proliferation of these adjacent fibroblasts. And coming to the eosinophils, which are occasionally seen in the normal ligament, and they possess the granules that consist of one or more crystalloid structures or capable of they are capable of phagocytosis. Coming to the extracellular substances, which includes the fibers that are the collagen, elastic fibers, oxygen fibers, reticular fibers, secondary fibers, and indifferent fibroplexes, and the ground substances which include the glycosaminoglycans, proteoglycans, and glycoproteins. Coming to the principal, the most important elements of the periodontal ligament are the principal fibers, which are collagenous and they are arranged in bundles. They follow a wavy course when viewed in a longitudinal section. And the terminal portions of these principal fibers, which are inserted into the cementum and the bone, are known as the shackle fibers. And they are embedded in the wall of alveolus or in the tooth. This shackle fiber calcify to a significant degree. And they are associated with abundant non-collagenous proteins that are typically found in the bone, and they have also been identified in the tooth cilia. And the molecular configuration of the collagen fibers, which provides them with a tensile strength, and that is greater than that of the steel. And these collagen imparts a unique combination of flexibility and strength to the tissues. The principal fibers of the periodontal ligament are arranged in 6 groups that develop sequentially in the developing root. And the first one is the transeptal fibers, which extend interproximally over the alveolar bone crest, and they are embedded in the cementum of the adjacent teeth. They are reconstructed even after the destruction of the alveolar bone that results from the periodontal ligament. And they are considered to be the part of gingiva because they do not contain any conscious attachment. Next one is the alveolar crest fibers, which extend obliquely from the cingulum. Just we need to mention like the alveolar crest. These run from the cingulum over the alveolar crest to the fibrous layer of the periosteum that covers the alveolar bone. And the alveolar crest fibers, which prevent the exclusion of the tooth and which resist the lateral tooth movements. And the incision of these fibers during the periodontal surgery does not increases the tooth mobility unless significant attachment loss has occurred. Coming to the horizontal fibers, which extend at the right angles to the long axis of the tooth from the cementum to the alveolar bone and can resist the horizontal forces. And oblique fibers which constitute the largest group. And they extend from the cementum in a coronal direction obliquely to the bone and can bear the brunt of vertical masticatory forces and transform such forces into the tension on the alveolar bone. And the apical fibers radiate in a rather irregular manner from the cementum to the bone, the apical region of the socket, and they are not found on completely formed with tooth, and they can resist the vertical forces, intrusion, extrusion of the tooth. And coming to the interradicular fibers, which fan out from the cementum to the tooth in the Caucasian areas of the multi-rooted tooth. And there are less regularly arranged collagen fibers which are found in the interstitial connective tissue between the principal fiber groups. Coming to the intermediate plexus, the fibers of the periodontal ligament are believed to be follow a wavy course from the cementum to the bone and found in the mid-region of the periodontal spaces, which give to a rise of zone of appearances, which is called as the intermediate plexus, which considered that there is the area of higher metabolic activity. And once the cemental fibers meet to the osseous fibers, it's believed that no such plexus remains. So the research concept is that the fibers across the entire width of the periodontal spaces and join the neighboring fibers to form a complex three-dimensional network. And the intermediate plexus, which believe that continuously growing incisors have been seen that not in the posterior teeth of not after the teeth reach of occlusal contact, the intermediate mediate plexus can be seen. And they are supposed to accumulate the tooth eruption without necessitating the embedding of the new fibers into the tooth and the bone. And this cannot be confirmed by the radiographic data and other studies as it is considered as a microscopic artifact. Coming to the elastic fibers, the two immature forms are expressed by the fibroblasts, which are the occipital and the elamine fibers. And an elastic meshwork has been described in the periodontal ligament as being composed of many elastic lamellae with the peripheral occipital fibers and the elamine fibers. The so-called occipital fibers, which are run parallel to the root surface in a vertical direction and they bend to the attached to the cementum in the cervical third of the root, and they regulate vascular flow. And they are shown to develop de novo in the regenerated periodontal ligament. And it consists of glycoproteins, fibrillin 1 and fibrillin 2, forming the microfibrils. And these fibrils assembled with the elastic core, they are called the elamine immature form, and the elastic, which is the mature form. The principal fibers helps in the adapting to the physiological needs of the